You're tuned in to The Deep Dive, and welcome back. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera. We're your hosts from the Shield Media Podcast Show.
Yeah, and a huge thank you first off to everyone following Shield Media Digital Marketing, both here on the podcast feed and on our business page. We really appreciate it.
We do. And today, we're talking directly to you. Yeah, the business owners, the C-level executives listening in.
That's right. We are diving deep into something absolutely critical for getting your business found online, driving real results. We're talking meta tags for SEO, specifically looking ahead to 2025.
And we're basing this on some great insights from a recent piece over at Search Engine Land.
Now, you might hear meta tags and think, oh, that's just tech jargon, back-end stuff.
Right, but it's so much more than that. As the article points out, think of them as levers of control. They really are.
Levers of control, I like that.
Yeah, they directly influence if people find you in search, what actually makes them click on your result. And increasingly important now, how AI, artificial intelligence, understands and even uses your website content.
Exactly. So look, we know you're busy leaders. Why spend time on this? Well, you're here, I assume, because you want that impactful knowledge quickly, thoroughly, something that gives your business an edge. And understanding meta tags, it's fundamental. It's like your first impression on Google, your digital handshake.
That's a great way to put it. A good handshake, it leads to a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? And here, that conversation means qualified traffic coming to your website.
Which ultimately impacts the bottom line. And I mean, this is more crucial than ever with the digital landscape just changing so fast, especially with AI search becoming, well, a really big deal.
And that's basically our mission for this deep dive. We're going to pull out the absolute must-know info about meta tags for 2025 from that Search Engine Land article.
We'll break down why they matter, maybe more than they ever have in this new environment.
And give you some really actionable things you can, take back to your teams, maybe discuss, and actually implement to boost your online presence.
Okay, let's get into it then. The article really emphasizes that, look, despite all the complex algorithms in AI, some basics remain absolutely foundational.
Definitely. We're talking about the title tag and the meta description. Those two lines of text you always see in the search results.
The ones that everyone scans first.
Exactly. And what's still kind of amazing is how much power they have. Not just influencing where you rank, although they do play a role there, but maybe even more critically, whether someone actually clicks your link versus a competitor's.
Right. That click-through rate, your CTR, it's like a direct measure of how well you're selling your page right there in the results.
Yeah, the article calls them the heavyweight champions for a reason. It's your prime real estate, your first shot at convincing someone, hey, click here.
And they shared a really good example, a sauce company, right? They just tweaked their homepage title tag.
Yeah.
Made it more benefit-focused.
What was it? Something like?
#1 project management software for remote teams save 5 hours a week. Something like that.
Okay, nice and specific.
Yeah, and the result, a 27% jump in click-through rate. They even saw their rankings improve. That really shows the direct impact, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And it highlights that good title tags, they aren't just about stuffing in keywords anymore. I mean, yes, the format, like primary keyword, secondary keyword, brand name, that structure is still a solid guideline.
Right, and keeping it around that, 50, 60 character sweet spot so it doesn't get cut off.
Exactly. But the article also mentions those little, almost psychological tweaks like using numbers, using strong action words. Those can genuinely boost clicks.
Okay, so the title tag grabs attention, then it works hand in hand with the meta description, which the article called, what was it? Free advertising space. I like that.
Me too. Because while meta descriptions don't directly boost your rankings themselves.
Not a direct ranking factor.
Right. But they're your sales pitch.
Yeah.
Your chance to expand on the why click this link, what's the benefit for the searcher.
So the advice there is pretty clear too.
Yeah, really practical. Start with the benefit. What problem are you solving for the person searching? Then maybe build some trust, add specifics if you can. And then wrap up with a clear, subtle call to action. Nudge them towards that click.
They had that comparison, didn't they? 2 descriptions for an email marketing article. One was generic, the other was super specific and benefit-driven.
Oh yeah, the difference was night and day. You can instantly see which one you'd be more likely to click on.
Okay, now, this is where it gets particularly relevant for 2025 and beyond, I think.
Yeah.
AI overviews. Those summaries Google is putting right at the top.
Big changes happening there.
And this means the robot's meta tag, suddenly way more important than it used to be. It's not just about index or no-index anymore.
Precisely. The robot's meta tag, specifically using directives like data-nosnippet and max-snippet, gives you a new level of control. control over how or even if your content shows up in those AI summaries.
So no-snippet is pretty blunt, right?
Very direct. It basically tells search engines, nope, don't use any part of this page for a snippet or an AI overview. Full stop.
Okay. And max snippet, that's more nuanced.
Yeah, max snippet lets you say, okay, you can use a snippet, but only up to this many characters. The article suggested, maybe for really valuable, cornerstone content, sitting at quite low, like 50 characters.
Interesting. So you give a little taste, enough maybe to get cited by the AI.
Exactly, get that mention, that potential visibility.
But not so much that the user gets the whole answer right there and never clicks through to your actual website.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
And it forces a really important strategic question for, you business owners listening. What is your goal with AI overviews? Maximum visibility within the AI answer, or driving traffic directly to your site?
And these robots tags are the tools to actually implement that strategy. It puts the control back in your hands somewhat.
It really does.
Okay, moving on. Another tag the article called non-negotiable, the viewport meta tag. Sounds technical maybe, but the impact is huge.
Oh, absolutely non-negotiable. It's that little line of code, meta name viewport content with device width, initial scale 1.0. Simple looking.
Right. But what it does is basically tell the browser, hey, make this website look good on any screen size, especially phones and tablets.
And given that Google uses the mobile version of your site for ranking first, that whole mobile first indexing thing.
Yeah, that's been around a while, but still crucial.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you forget this tag, or it's wrong, your site might look terrible on mobile. And if it's a bad user experience on mobile, Google notices, and your rankings can definitely suffer. Doesn't matter how great your content is if people can't actually use the site easily on their phone.
So it directly ties mobile friendliness, user experience, and rankings together. Simple tag, big consequences.
You got it.
Now, beyond those really core technical tags impacting search directly, the article also talked about social meta tags. Still relevant.
Very relevant. These are things like open graph tags for Facebook and LinkedIn, Xcard tags for, well, X, formerly Twitter. They let you control how your content looks when someone shares your link on social media.
So instead of the platform just guessing what image or description to pull.
Exactly. You define it. You set the preview image, the title, the description that appears in the social feed. It makes your shared content look much more professional, much more appealing.
And that can really boost engagement on social, right? Get more clicks back to your site from those platforms.
Definitely. It extends your branding, your messaging, beyond just your website or the search results. It's optimizing for shareability, basically, driving that valuable referral traffic.
Oh, okay, good point. Then the article touched on some slightly more advanced things, but still pretty important, canonical tags.
Yeah, canonicals. Super important if you have situations where the same or very similar content might appear on multiple different URLs on your site.
Like e-commerce sites, maybe? Same product in different categories.
That's a classic example.
Yeah.
Or maybe a news site with slightly different versions of a story. The canonical tag, link rel, canonical, is how you tell search engines, look, all these pages are kind of the same, but this one URL is the main preferred version.
Ah, okay. So it stops the search engine from getting confused or splitting the ranking power between multiple pages.
Exactly that. It consolidates those ranking signals, helps prevent duplicate content issues. It's like pointing Google to the master copy.
Got it. And there was one more really granular tool mentioned, data-nosnippet.
Right. So where the nosnippet robots tag applies to the whole page.
Data-nosnippet is like a surgical tool.
Perfect analogy. You can wrap data-nosnippets around specific bits of text within your page's HTML code. And just that specific text won't be used in search snippets or AI overviews.
Ooh, okay. So you could use that to hide maybe legal disclaimers from snippets or protect a specific proprietary sentence.
Precisely. Or just make sure only the most compelling parts of your paragraph are shown, not some random aside. Very fine-tuned control.
Okay, so we've talked about optimizing all these tags: title, description, robots, viewport, social, canonicals, data-nosnippet. How do you actually know if it's working? How do you measure the impact?
Good question. The article laid out a pretty straightforward, practical process. Step one is basically living in your Google Search Console.
Right, looking at the performance reports.
Yeah. Specifically, monitor your click-through rates, your CTR. Look for pages that are ranking okay, maybe getting impressions, but have a really low CTR compared to their position.
Those are the pages screaming for better title tags and meta descriptions, right?
Absolutely. They're your prime candidates for optimization. And the article strongly recommended A/B testing.
So trying out different versions of titles and descriptions on key pages.
Exactly. Don't just guess. Test version A against version B and
Yeah.
see which one actually gets more clicks from real searchers. Data-driven decisions.
Makes sense. And the third step ties back to AI.
Right. Keep an eye on your impressions within AI overviews, also in Search Console. This data is still evolving, but it'll start to give you clues about how your robot's meta tag choices, not snippet, max snippet, are affecting your visibility in those AI summaries.
Which brings us back full circle to that strategic thinking, doesn't it? How do you want your content to show up in this new AI-driven search world?
It's an ongoing process of monitoring, testing, and adjusting your strategy.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together then. Some key takeaways for everyone listening, especially you, business owners and executives.
All right, first big one. Title tags and meta descriptions. Still incredibly important. Crucial for rankings, yes, but maybe even more so for actually getting people to click your link.
Yeah, don't neglect those basics. Second, robots meta tags. Not snippet, max snippet. They've leveled up. Now they're essential tools for managing how AI uses and displays your content in overviews. You need a strategy here.
Definitely. Third, that viewport meta tag.
Mhm.
Absolutely non-negotiable. You must have it right for mobile experience and therefore for your rankings. Simple as that.
Fourth, social meta tags. Don't forget them. They control your brand appearance on social platforms, drive engagement, bring in traffic. Worth setting up correctly.
And kind of overarching all of this is search intent. Think less about just keywords and more about why someone is searching. Align your tags with that informational, navigational, commercial, transactional.
Good point. And also remember canonical tags for keeping duplicate content tidy.
And data-nosnippet if you need that really fine-grained control over specific text in snippets.
And finally, monitor. Use Google Search Console, watch your CTR, and test, test, test. A/B testing is your friend.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so based on all that, what are some concrete actions you listening right now can take? Like today or this week?
Okay, first action. Go look at the title tags and meta descriptions for your most important landing pages. Your homepage, key product service pages. Are they actually compelling? Do they scream benefit? Do they match what people search for? Be honest.
Good starting point. Second,
Talk to your marketing team or whoever handles your SEO. Have a real conversation about your strategy for robots, meta tags, and AI overviews. Are you aiming for citations or direct traffic? Make a conscious decision.
third action.
Quick check. Make sure that viewport meta tag is correctly implemented. Use Google's mobile-friendly test tool if you need to. It's a quick win if it's missing or wrong.
And fourth,
Just review if you're using social meta tags, Open Graph, X cards. Are they set up to make your content look great when shared? Easy fix, big impact on social sharing.
this really forces a reflection, doesn't it? Are you treating these tags like a one-and-done setup from years ago?
Or are you seeing them as dynamic, strategic marketing assets that need ongoing attention and optimization? Big difference in approach.
Absolutely. And look, if you are a Western-based business and you're serious about boosting your results, we're talking local SEO, your PPC campaigns, your social media marketing, and you realize you need some expert help navigating all this, including the technical side, like optimizing these crucial meta tags.
Then reach out to us at Shield Media. We're a dedicated digital marketing agency, and helping Western clients succeed online with these strategies is exactly what we do.
Please do get in touch. And hey, don't forget to hit that follow button wherever you're listening so you don't miss our future deep dives into digital marketing essentials.
Yeah, and if this chat was helpful, please share it. Pass along to other business owners, other executives you know who could use this information.
Definitely. Okay, let's leave you with a final thought to chew on. As AI, artificial intelligence, keeps changing the game in search, faster and faster it seems,
It's moving quickly.
how is your business going to proactively adapt? Not just your meta tags, but your whole content strategy. How will you stay visible and really connect with your audience in this constantly evolving digital space?
Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in to the deep dive.
We'll catch you on the next one.